What's up, Wolfpack? Sheldon here, and today we're going to be talking about exactly how much money you need to invest to get started with Amazon FBA and start your own Amazon FBA business. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Okay guys, so there seems to be a lot of misconceptions out there with regards to how much money you need to start an Amazon FBA business and all the costs involved. Some are hidden costs, some guys are saying that you need way too much or way too little. They're either overestimating or underestimating exactly how much money you need to get started. So today we're going to break it down cost by cost so that you have an idea of what you need to put down before you can start that business. And the first thing we're going to talk about is product manufacturing or product cost, which is one of the biggest costs that are involved when starting an Amazon business, both this and shipping, which we'll discuss in a bit. So I want to start off with the biggest costs that are involved. Now, product manufacturing can vary greatly and so can shipping. And the reason for that is it depends on what product it is that you're getting made, right? You could get something made like toothpicks, which are very small and light and easy to ship, or you could get bowling ball sets made, which are heavy and large and can cost a lot more to manufacture and ship. So we're going to assume that we're going by the criteria outlined in previous videos on this channel. So we want something that's small, we want something that's light, and something that's very cheap to manufacture so that we can maximize our profit and our return on investment, right? So let's assume that that our product costs us $2 per piece to manufacture. That's based on previous products that I've sold, which cost anywhere between I've sold something that's cost 15 cents all the way up to $4.50 per product. So it can vary greatly. Let's assume we're going to hit a middle ground of $2 per, right? Now, how many units do you need, or how many products do you need? I would say nothing less than 400 individual units, 400 to 500, let's say. And the reason for this is that you want enough units in Amazon so that you don't run out of inventory if your product starts selling. So if you start selling and you run out of inventory and you've already ranked for a keyword, your listing is going to drop ranking. So we don't want that to happen. We also need enough units so that we can manage a giveaway. When you're ranking on Amazon, you know the best way to launch a product is with giveaways. By giving away a product, you rank up organically. Now you need enough units in order for this to be sustainable so that you don't run out of giveaway products and then you have nothing to sell. Or you give away products and then you don't have enough inventory left before you order your second shipment to keep that cash flow and keep that inventory running. So we want at least 400 units. So let's assume that it's $2 per unit, 400 units, that's $800 to get started with our product manufacturing cost, which is one of the biggest costs. Next up is shipping. And again, this can vary greatly depending on what sort of shipping method you choose and what your product weighs and how big it is, right? So let's assume that we're going to work on a 70% of our product cost baseline. And that's what I've generally found, anywhere from around 50% to 70% or even 80% of what your product cost is what your shipping is going to be if you're working on the previously outlined criteria that we've spoken about before. So the size, the weight, and everything that's involved. So let's assume that 70% of $800, that's going to be $560 on shipping. And that's assuming we're shipping by air, right? There are multiple different shipping methods. So you can either ship by sea or you can ship by air. Shipping by sea generally takes around 2 to 3 months, which is a long time, especially if you're just getting started on Amazon FBA and you want to get that product out there and you want to get started. So let's assume we're shipping by air, which can take anywhere from 2 to 3 days, all the way up to maybe 7 days, 7 or even 10 days sometimes, depending on what shipping method you choose and which freight forwarder you use. So it is good to look around for different quotes from different freight forwarders and different shipping companies, because you will be able to get a better deal and you can play them against one another and work out and negotiate what the best cost is, right? So let's assume we've already got that down. We've got our product manufacturing and we've got our shipping down. Two of the biggest costs out of the way. What's next? Next, you need some form of product research application, right? This actually should come first, because without this, you're not going to be able to find a product to manufacture or even know what you're going to be selling, right? So we need something or a way to research. There are multiple different product research tools out there. As you know, my favorite is Viral Launch's Product Discovery. There are a ton, but the reason I prefer this one is because of the amount of data that they give you. They give you information about every single product and more information than you could ever imagine. You can check out what the sales have been doing, what that product has been selling like over the past couple of years, what the price has been like, how many sales they've had. Anything you can imagine about every single individual product, Viral Launch has that covered for you. So that's the best way that I found to find a product, as well as their market intelligence or their Chrome extension, which allows you to browse through Amazon and see what the sales on the pages for specific keywords are as well. So those are two things that I definitely do recommend. That is $60, I think it is, or $59. But obviously, if you're part of the Wolfpack, you get it for 50% off. The link to that is in the description down below. So we're going to go at $29.50 for that. That's for the intermediate package. There are different packages for viral launch, but you can easily get away with the intermediate package. You get everything that you need from product discovery, and you get market intelligence included in that as well, as far as I know. Then you need an Amazon seller account. Now, you can't sell on Amazon unless you have an account, right? So the Amazon seller account allows you to list products, create listings, and sell on Amazon. There are two different types of accounts. There's an individual account and there's a professional account. Now, an individual account is not something that you'd really want. It is free, but basically you can use it to get started. It does really allow you to maybe list one or two products. It's something that the sort of guy on the street would use to sell extra items that he wants to do. Maybe do retail arbitrage. Maybe he has one product that he wants to list on Amazon and sell. That's what you'd use the individual seller account for. But we are building a business here, so we do need a professional account eventually. And that is $39.99 a month, right? So that's $39 for that account. But don't worry about that if you can't afford that just yet. You can sign up with Amazon and you can browse and learn how the backend works and how Seller Central works before you even start selling. Don't worry about signing up to this and losing that money if you don't even decide to do this, because say you're on Amazon. I did this. I had my seller account for 2 months before I even started selling on Amazon, before I listed my first item. And you just basically contact the support and you'd be like, hey guys, listen, you can see that I've had my account for so and so long. Would you be able to refund me the seller account fees? And they'll more than happily do it. They'll refund the amount because they can see that you actually haven't been actively using the platform. So they'll refund you. And if they don't, just contact a different sales representative. Maybe you got someone that's a bit mean that day, and they'll refund you for that. So that's out of the way. Next is logo and branding. Now, for a logo, there are obviously places where you can spend $1,000 for a logo, especially if you're getting a professional logo designed. But these days, there are so many different platforms out there. I've also spoken about this platform specifically in the past, and that is Fiverr, where it'll only cost you $5 to get a logo designed. And these are very good professional logos. You'll even get the Illustrator file or the vector version of that logo, so it's high res and you can print it, you can use it however you like. But there are some places that'll charge a bit more. The reason I've made this $40 is because of branding. So I highly recommend getting a box designed or custom packaging designed, and that can be anywhere from $5 to $40 or whatever it may be on Fiverr, depending on who or which service you decide to go through. So the reason I'd recommend this is it really is a good way to differentiate yourself amongst other sellers, because you have a very custom designed box. You sort of stand out and you establish yourself as a professional or premium brand compared to the other sellers out there. So I'd highly recommend getting a professional packaging box designed, right? Next up is your UPC barcode, or your barcode that goes on your item. Now, what UPC is the universal product code, and every product you can imagine that is sold ever, anywhere, has a UPC code on it. That little barcode on the back of the box is something that identifies that specific product. Now, there are some rumors around that Amazon needs GS1 verified barcodes, which are incredibly expensive. They can be anywhere from $500 up per barcode. And there are rumors saying that that's the only way you can create a listing on Amazon is with GS1 verified barcodes, but that is not true. I still currently use barcodes that I bought years ago. I bought a pack of like 1,000 barcodes off of eBay, and that was only $5 again. So I'm going to set that to $5, right? Now, there is another cost involved with UPC barcodes, and that is getting it stuck onto your box, or getting a label printed and stuck onto the box of your product. And a lot of the time, what manufacturers will do is they'll charge you per sticker, because it is a cost, something like 2 cents or 20 cents or whatever it may be per sticker. Firstly, tell them that you're not willing to pay that, and they might offer it to you for free, or you can work around it by doing what I always do. When I'm getting my product designed or I'm getting my branding designed, I have that barcode designed into the packaging. So I have it on the back or on the front or on the side, wherever it may be, but I have it printed in the sort of vector file so that when it gets printed on the box, that barcode is printed onto the product, because it doesn't have to be an individual barcode per product. It's one barcode that you buy per product, per listing on Amazon, and that needs to be printed onto your box, okay? So we're going to stick with that at $5. That brings you a total cost of $1,474.49. So round that off to $1,500. That's what you can expect to invest when starting out on Amazon FBA. But there are a few other costs involved that could be optional depending on whether you feel like you need to invest into this. And that is the first thing we're going to talk about is photography. So as you know, photography is one of the most important factors when it comes to getting sales on Amazon, because a high converting listing relies a lot on high quality images. So product listings on Amazon that have images that you can click on and zoom into sell and convert much better than listings that don't have that. And you want those images to be high quality and good images of your product, right? So again, you can use Fiverr for this service. Again, it can cost you anything from $5 to even $100, whatever it may be. So the reason I said this is optional is you could take these photos yourself. You could do your own product photos. I do have a video on my first channel about product photography and how you can do it yourself very easily. These days, you can also buy small product photography studios online that sort of just unfold and pop up on your desk. You can place your product in that, light it with even home lamps, and then you have perfect product photos, right? Alternatively, you can have one product shipped to your photographer, wherever you may be or wherever she may be in the world, and they'll take photos for you, and that can cost you whatever it may be on Fiverr, $5 and up. So that's an optional cost. The next optional cost, and I say this is optional, a lot of people say that it is definitely not optional and you do need it, is an inspection service. Now what an inspection service is, it's a company that'll go to wherever your product's being manufactured at the factory and go then inspect your product once it's been manufactured. So say you've got 500 of these toothpicks, packs of toothpicks manufactured, right? Now what the inspection service will do is it'll go to the manufacturing place, your factory, and go through each of those and analyze each one of them and give you a printout or a PDF document saying that this is how many were damaged, this is how many were out of the variation, out of the norm, and what's broken and that sort of thing. How well the packaging is, are there any misprints, anything like that. And this is a good thing to do, especially on your first round or your first time ordering from a specific manufacturer. But if that manufacturer has a good track record and you can vet them, I'll show you in videos how to vet your supplier and make sure that you're getting a good supplier. This isn't always needed. If you're ordering something new, maybe you're ordering a new type of product that hasn't really been sold before, maybe it's a new concept, or maybe it's an electronic where a lot of things can go wrong, small parts can break, small things can move, or it's something that's fragile, maybe you're selling something that's glass, then an inspection service is definitely recommended because things can go wrong. There's a lot of things that can go wrong, and you want to catch that before you ship all of that stuff out to Amazon's warehouses where you're just going to basically be throwing money down the drain. Especially if you're making huge orders, then this is recommended. But if you're just starting out and you're selling something that's relatively basic and you're ordering from a supplier that is well vetted and has a good track record, then this is not going to be too much of a problem to just cut back on an inspection cost. But let's say that you're assuming it's going to cost us $100 for photography and another $100 for an inspection service. That brings our total to $1,674.49, or about $1,700 to be on the absolute safe side. So being on the absolute safe side, using everything, including the optional cost, let's say $1,700 to get started on Amazon FBA. That's everything that you need to get started, to get selling on Amazon FBA. Now, this might be higher, it might be lower, depending on the costs that are involved, as I've spoken about, depending on what shipping method you take, what sort of product you're getting manufactured, how big it is, all of those sort of things. But there are some costs that will always be static, as we've spoken about. But if you do have any questions on what else would be involved or anything else to do with Amazon FBA, make sure you hit it in the comments down below. I will respond to as many people as possible. I'll help you guys as much as I can. If you haven't yet, don't forget to join that Wolfpack Facebook group. The link to that will be in the description as well, where we can interact with one another. You can chat with other group members, and we're all going to help each other, just as a Wolfpack does. There's no one left behind. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do hope that this video helped you. If it did help you, don't forget to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. I'm going to be uploading all the time as I do. And as always, I shall see you in the next video. Cheers.